Good day, everyone. I'm Dave. Today we're going to be talking about tool restoration. We're going to start today with something very simple, a putty knife. You find these things thrown in the garbage all the time because, well, they look like this. Last night, in about 10 minutes, I turned it into, well, looking brand new again. And to turn that tool from that to that side only took me less than about 5 minutes the other night. And we can show you here exactly how to do it. This applies not only to this, but a lot of other tools, such as your old brace bits. Here's the original version. A few minutes worth of work and a little bit of soaking. We'll bring it to that. Change this blade from looking the rough condition, which is throwaway condition for most people, to something that we can easily fix and resell. We don't need a whole lot. Wire wheel, you can pick those things up pretty well anywhere, dollar stores. You don't need anything expensive as long as it holds together. Face shield or goggles. I prefer face shield, but for convenience, we're just using goggles today. Some kind of scrubbing pad. Quite often I take my wife's sponge for clean dishes, use the green part on the back. I didn't do that today because I want to stay happily married. So I picked up these. You can pick up these in bulk and just cut them down to whatever size you need. And some kind of cleanser. There's lots of different brands you can buy. I'm not particular preference over anyone, but any kind of scrubbing cleanser that you use for cleaning your stainless steel sink works great on these particular tools. And that's really it. So not many dollars worth of cleanup parts and only a few minutes. And we're just going to go ahead and do that right now. First stage, of course, is everyone happen to have some kind of drill at home. If you don't, yank out the old wire brush. And as you can see, if we try, you can see the dust coming off, and there she is already starting to come clean. However, using the wire brush just speeds up the process a little bit. Of course, you have to be careful. If you're going forward and catches that edge, it's going to send the knife towards you. So when you're at that edge, of course, ideally you want to go reverse. It's a good idea to throw this into a vise and clamp it down. I don't have a vise today. I'm just doing this on a table to show you how simply you can do it. Press it down a little bit. Of course, don't do this on a good table. For me, I'm just going to toss that on. Once you have that done, you can even go into here, into your aluminum, and if there's a lot of dirt or anything like that, same thing applies. Next stage, of course, is to take that, which just looks like this. We want to bring it back up to a nice polish so it looks good. Good for resale. Simplest way to do that, our trusty pad and some kind of compound. I mean, you can use even rubbing compound for cars. Most stuff that we're dealing with tools, you can use a rubbing compound. I like using a sink cleanser just because it's quite cheap, easily available. Most people already have it in their house. And some kind of lubricant, either a bit of water, or in my case, I'm just using a little bit of cleaner or a little bit of oil. Put that on, put your powder into it. You can make a little bit of a mess here, but that's why you don't do it on your dining room table. And you just start scrubbing. We'll take our Kleenex or paper towel and do a wipe. You can already see the difference. Give it a quick wipe, and there we go. We're already 90% the way there. But you saw here in, what, maybe 5 minutes? And I only got maybe about 2 or 3 more minutes of scrubbing on here. I can take something that was worth nothing, turn around, sell it for a few bucks, add it to a collection of other things, and make yourself a little bit of money, or have myself a perfectly fine blade. The only thing to check with these blades, of course, is always check to make sure it's nice and straight when you look down the end. If it isn't, usually you can just start flexing it and bring it in, and make sure you got absolutely perfectly flat from end to end. And if you don't, simple solution, you get yourself a very fine file. You put it right at the very tip. You just go across a few times, just to make sure that that's perfectly flat. Because when you're doing drywall, the last thing you want to be doing is laying down your mud and then seeing ridges all the way across because you got little divots or little holes or little rust spots. So we took an extra few more minutes and we did a bit more final sanding, get it all restored. If you have little paint chips, you can actually get color markers, and you can actually just color those in, color paint markers that is, and actually refill the paint if you really want to. But at this point, you really don't need to go any farther. The only thing I would do is give it a quick little coat of oil, depending on motor oil, doesn't matter what kind of oil you want to give it. Just rub it in. Last thing we want is, after all that hard work, for the rust to come back. And just coat up both sides. A little bit of a wipe just to get any excess off. I'm not pressing really hard, I'm just trying to get anything loose off the surface. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments or video suggestions, please leave them below. We're always open to new challenges, and we'll see you next time.